extreme diets, this might completely change how you look at health. Because the doctor behind this discovery didn't win the Nobel Prize for nutrition trends. He won it for uncovering how the human body survives, repairs itself, and slows aging at the cellular level. And the most shocking part? It's not about what you add. It's about what you consistently eat and how it activates your longevity genes. Most people believe aging is something that just happens to you, that every birthday silently steals strength, memory, and years from your life. But what if that idea is completely wrong? What if aging is not a timeline problem but a repair problem? And what if the real reason people don't live to 100 has nothing to do with bad genes and everything to do with a biological process that modern eating has almost completely shut down? In 2016, the Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded for a discovery so fundamental it forced scientists to rethink aging, cancer, and longevity itself. The discovery was autophagy, a self-cleaning system built into every cell of your body. Autophagy is not a supplement. It's not a drug. It's not a trend. It is a survival mechanism that has kept humans alive for thousands of years, and today, it may be the missing key to living far longer than we ever thought possible. Autophagy literally means self-eating, but that translation hides its true power. What it really means is cellular renewal. When autophagy is active, your cells identify damaged parts, broken proteins, and malfunctioning mitochondria, then break them down and recycle them into new, healthy components. This process reduces inflammation, protects DNA, prevents abnormal cell growth, and dramatically slows biological aging. In laboratory studies, organisms with higher autophagy live significantly longer. When autophagy is blocked, aging accelerates and disease follows. Here's the shocking part. Autophagy does not turn on when you eat more nutritious food. It turns on when your body senses temporary scarcity, when insulin drops, when digestion stops, when the body shifts from growth mode to repair mode. In nature, this happened automatically. Humans didn't eat 6 times a day. They didn't snack constantly. They went through natural periods without food, and during those periods, autophagy surged, quietly repairing damage before it became disease. Modern humans almost never enter this repair state. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates and sugar, you raise insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone. Growth is useful when you're a child, but chronic growth signaling in adulthood is disastrous. High insulin tells your body, do not repair, do not recycle, just keep growing. And cells that grow without being repaired become dysfunctional, inflamed, and eventually dangerous. This is why chronically high insulin is linked to cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and accelerated aging. This is not theory. This is measurable biology. Studies show that autophagy is dramatically suppressed in people who eat frequently, even if their food is considered healthy. You can eat organic, you can eat low-fat, you can eat plant-based, but if insulin is always elevated, autophagy stays off. And when autophagy stays off, damaged cells accumulate like garbage that's never taken out. Here's a fact that stops most people cold. By middle age, many adults have cells that are functioning at a fraction of their youthful capacity, not because they are old, but because those cells were never properly cleaned. The body is designed to clean itself, but modern eating patterns have silenced that function. Now compare that to populations known for extreme longevity. Okinawans, Sardinians, centenarians studied around the world. They don't eat constantly, they don't snack, they don't overload protein, their insulin levels remain low for long stretches of the day, and researchers repeatedly observe the same thing: lower inflammation, better mitochondrial function, and slower biological aging. Mitochondria matter here more than most people realize. Mitochondria are the energy factories of your cells. When they become damaged and are not recycled through autophagy, they produce excess free radicals. Those free radicals damage DNA, accelerate aging, and trigger chronic disease. Autophagy selectively removes these broken mitochondria in a process called mitophagy. No mitophagy, no longevity. This is why simply eating more antioxidants never works the way people hope. Antioxidants try to clean up the mess. Autophagy prevents the mess from accumulating in the first place. One of the most disturbing findings in aging research is that many age-related diseases are not caused by new damage, but by old damage that was never removed. Plaques in the brain, dysfunctional immune cells, senescent cells that refuse to die and poison surrounding tissue. Autophagy is the system designed to remove them. When it's inactive, the body becomes a storage unit for its own decay. And what shuts autophagy down more reliably than almost anything else? Constant eating. This is why longevity is not about calorie abundance. In fact, calorie restriction without malnutrition is one of the most consistent ways to extend lifespan across species. Not because calories are evil, but because less frequent eating lowers insulin and activates cellular repair. The body stops asking, "How do I grow?" and starts asking, "What do I fix?" Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people are aging faster not because they eat too little, but because they eat too often. They never allow their biology to enter repair mode. They live in a permanent growth state, and growth without repair is the definition of aging. Autophagy doesn't just affect lifespan, it affects how you feel right now. When autophagy increases, people report improved mental clarity, reduced inflammation, better metabolic health, and more stable energy. That's not motivation, that's physiology. Cleaner cells work better. The Nobel Prize didn't celebrate a diet, it celebrated a mechanism, a reminder that the body already knows how to heal if we stop interrupting it. Longevity is not something you buy, it's something you allow. And the most powerful shift isn't adding another food to your plate, it's creating space between meals. Space where insulin drops, space where digestion ends, space where your cells finally get permission to clean house. Aging isn't a countdown, it's a consequence, and the moment cellular repair returns, the clock begins to slow. This isn't about starving, it's about respecting the biology that kept humans alive long before grocery stores existed. When repair outweighs damage, life extends naturally, and the science is very clear on this. You don't age because time passes, you age because repair stops. And autophagy is the difference. Most people think food is just fuel. Calories in, calories out. Eat healthy, move more, and hope for the best. But biology doesn't work that way. Every single thing you put into your mouth sends a chemical message to your cells. That message is either telling your body to repair and protect itself, or to age faster, store damage, and shut repair down. And the difference is not subtle. It is dramatic, measurable, and proven at the cellular level. Here's the truth most people never hear. Autophagy, the Nobel Prize-winning longevity mechanism, is not simply turned on by fasting alone. It is either supported or blocked by the foods you eat when you do eat. You can fast perfectly, then destroy the entire repair process with the wrong meal. And this is where modern nutrition quietly sabotages human lifespan. The most dangerous foods are not just sugar and junk food. The real problem is food that chronically spikes insulin. Insulin is not evil, but chronically elevated insulin is a biological stop sign for autophagy. When insulin is high, your body is locked in growth mode. Growth mode means no recycling, no cleanup, no repair. And foods that repeatedly spike insulin keep that switch permanently turned off. This is why healthy fats are so powerful. Fat does something unique. It provides energy without demanding insulin. When you eat healthy fats, your body does not panic. Blood sugar remains stable. Insulin stays low. And that allows autophagy to continue running quietly in the background. This is not theory, it's physiology. Studies consistently show that low insulin states preserve mitochondrial function and reduce oxidative stress, two major predictors of lifespan. Fat also fuels ketones, and ketones are not just an energy source, they are signaling molecules. Ketones activate genes linked to longevity, stress resistance, and brain protection. This is why ketogenic states are associated with reduced inflammation, improved neurological health, and protection against age-related cognitive decline. Fat is not aging you. Sugar-driven insulin spikes are. Then there are cruciferous vegetables, which are not just healthy in a general sense. They contain compounds like sulforaphane that activate NRF2, a master regulator of antioxidant and detox genes. NRF2 controls hundreds of protective pathways that reduce DNA damage and slow cellular aging. These vegetables don't spike insulin, but they dramatically increase the body's ability to neutralize toxins and oxidative stress. That combination is rare and powerful. What makes this even more shocking is that these vegetables help your body produce its own antioxidants rather than relying on dietary ones. That means the protection lasts longer and works deeper at the cellular level. This is one reason populations that consume large amounts of low-carb vegetables show lower cancer rates and slower biological aging. Protein is where things get uncomfortable. Protein is essential for life, but excess protein activates a growth pathway called mTOR. mTOR is useful when you are young and growing. But when mTOR is constantly activated in adulthood, it accelerates aging and suppresses autophagy. This has been demonstrated repeatedly in longevity research. Animals with chronically elevated mTOR age faster and develop more disease. Animals with moderated protein intake live longer. This doesn't mean protein is bad. It means timing and quantity matter. Moderate protein supports muscle and repair. Excess protein tells the body to keep growing when it should be cleaning. The longest living populations on Earth do not eat high protein all day. They eat enough, and then they stop. That pause is where repair happens. Fermented foods take this even further. The gut microbiome is now recognized as a major regulator of inflammation, immune aging, and even brain health. Certain gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which directly support gut lining integrity and reduce systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the strongest predictors of early aging. Fermented foods shift the microbiome towards species that calm the immune system instead of constantly triggering it. A calm immune system ages slower. That is not poetic language. It is measurable. Chronic immune activation damages tissues over time. Fermented foods help turn that noise down. Then there are minerals, almost completely ignored in modern diets. Enzymes that drive cellular repair, antioxidant production, and DNA maintenance all require minerals as cofactors. Magnesium alone is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions. Without adequate minerals, repair pathways cannot function, even if autophagy is technically on. This is why people can fast and still feel terrible if their mineral status is depleted. Here's a shocking fact. Many people today are overfed and undernourished at the same time. They consume enough calories to shut down autophagy, but not enough micronutrients to support repair. This creates the worst possible scenario for aging. Damage accumulates, and the tools needed to fix it are missing. When you combine healthy fats, low insulin vegetables, moderate protein, fermented foods, and mineral-rich whole foods, something remarkable happens. You eat, but insulin stays controlled. Growth is balanced. Repair is not interrupted. Autophagy continues instead of being shut down. You are no longer choosing between nourishment and longevity. You are aligning them. This is why people who eat this way often experience improvements that seem unrelated to food. Clearer thinking, reduced joint pain, better sleep, more stable energy. These are not placebo effects. They are signs of reduced inflammation and improved cellular efficiency. The shocking truth is that the body does not need constant stimulation. It needs consistency and restraint. The right foods send the message that resources are available, but not excessive. That signal keeps the body efficient, adaptable, and young. Longevity is not about eating less forever. It's about eating in a way that doesn't silence your body's most powerful repair systems. The wrong foods slam the brakes on autophagy. The right foods quietly keep it alive. And that is the difference between simply surviving and aging slowly with strength, clarity, and resilience. Your body already knows how to live a long time. Your food is either reminding it or making it forget. Most people believe the secret to health is choosing the perfect foods, organic or not, low carb or low fat, superfoods or supplements. But science has revealed something far more uncomfortable and far more powerful. How often you eat may matter more than what you eat. And this single mistake constant eating may be silently accelerating aging in millions of people who believe they're doing everything right. Every time you eat, your body makes a decision, not a conscious one, a hormonal one. Insulin rises, digestion begins, and your biology shifts into growth mode. Growth mode sounds positive, but it comes at a cost. When growth is turned on, repair is turned off. Autophagy, the Nobel Prize winning cellular cleanup system, is suppressed, and the modern world keeps that system suppressed almost all day, every day. Here is a shocking statistic. Studies show that the average adult eats over 15 hours per day when snacks and drinks are included. That leaves almost no time for the body to enter a true repair state. From the moment you wake up until late at night, insulin is repeatedly spiked, digestion is constantly active, and cellular cleanup is postponed again and again. Aging doesn't explode overnight. It accumulates silently when repair is delayed long enough. This is why intermittent fasting is not a trend. It is a return to biological reality. When you stop eating for a prolonged period, insulin falls. Growth signals quiet down, and the body finally switches into maintenance mode. Autophagy increases, damaged proteins are broken down, dysfunctional mitochondria are removed, immune cells are reset. This is not motivational language. This is documented physiology. In controlled studies, autophagy markers rise significantly after 16 to 24 hours without food. In longer fasts, the effect intensifies. But even modest fasting windows create meaningful repair. The body was designed for this. Humans evolved with natural food gaps. There was no breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, dessert cycle. There was eating, and then there was time. That time is where healing happens. One of the most shocking findings in metabolic research is that constant snacking may be worse than poor food quality. Even low-calorie snacks can keep insulin elevated enough to suppress autophagy. A handful of crackers, a protein bar, a healthy smoothie, each one presses pause on repair. The body never finishes cleaning before it's interrupted again, and interruptions have consequences. Mitochondria, the engines of your cells, are especially sensitive to this. When damaged mitochondria are not removed through fasting-induced mitophagy, they leak free radicals. Those free radicals damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. Over time, this damage accumulates and shows up as fatigue, brain fog, insulin resistance, and chronic disease. This is why aging often feels like a slow loss of energy before anything else. Intermittent fasting restores order. When food stops coming in, the body becomes efficient. Growth hormone increases, protecting muscle and supporting fat burning. Insulin drops, allowing stored fat to be released. Inflammation markers fall. Even brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a molecule linked to learning and memory, increases during fasting. The brain does not shrink when you fast. It becomes more resilient. This is why fasting has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity even without weight loss. It's not about calories. It's about hormonal rhythm. The body needs cycles. Eat, stop, repair, repeat. When that rhythm disappears, aging accelerates. Now consider this fact. Many age-related diseases share one root cause: chronic metabolic overstimulation. Alzheimer's is now called type 3 diabetes by some researchers because of insulin resistance in the brain. Cancer cells thrive in high glucose, high insulin environments. Heart disease correlates strongly with chronic inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. These are not separate problems. They are different outcomes of the same biological imbalance. And that imbalance is constant feeding. Fasting reverses the signal. It tells the body resources are limited, so efficiency matters. Waste must be recycled. Errors must be corrected. Weak cells must be removed. Strong cells survive. This is cellular natural selection, and it only happens when food is temporarily absent. What's even more surprising is that the body protects itself during fasting better than during constant eating. Muscle tissue is preserved through elevated growth hormone. Fat stores are preferentially used. The body does not break down in a fast. It reorganizes. This is why people practicing time-restricted eating often report feeling younger, not weaker. Joint pain decreases. Mental clarity improves. Energy stabilizes. These are signs that inflammation is dropping and cellular efficiency is improving. Longevity researchers have observed something fascinating in long-lived populations. They don't just eat less, they eat less often. Meals are simple. Snacking is rare. There are long gaps without food. No one calls it fasting, it's just life. And the result is lower insulin, higher metabolic flexibility, and slower biological aging. Modern culture treats hunger as an emergency, but mild hunger is a signal, not a threat. It is the signal that repair mode is turning on. That discomfort many people feel when skipping a meal is not damage. It is adaptation. The body shifting gears. This does not mean extreme fasting for everyone. It means intentional breaks from eating. 16 hours, 18 hours, sometimes 24. Enough to let insulin fall and autophagy rise. Enough to give your cells permission to clean up decades of accumulated damage. Here is the hardest truth to accept. You cannot out-supplement constant eating. You cannot out-exercise non-stop insulin spikes. You cannot biohack your way around biology. Repair requires time without food. There is no shortcut. Longevity is not built during meals. It is built between them. When you stop eating, the body doesn't panic. It focuses. When you stop snacking, inflammation doesn't rise. It falls. When you stop interrupting digestion, cellular intelligence returns. Aging is not caused by hunger. It is caused by never letting repair finish. And the moment you change how often you eat, you change the entire direction of your biology. Not slowly, not symbolically, but at the deepest cellular level. This is why how you eat matters more than what you eat. Because time is the most powerful nutrient